Hello and welcome everybody out there in YouTube and D&D land. I hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Before we jump into the action, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy this content. If you're interested in joining our community and supporting us a little further, you can go ahead and become a member here on YouTube, or you can join our Patreon. Link to that is down in the description below, where you'll be able to get into our Discord server, hang out with all of us, and if you are looking to join any new games, we do have open slots available in quite a few of our games right now, including this one, which, although we are going to be wrapping up at the end of this story arc, we are also going to be restarting in the Commortar world inside of our living universe, which should be very interesting, especially since, well, that world has a lot of undiscovered aspects to it. But anyways, I believe that's going to be everything from me, so let's get into the action. All right, Call, tell us what happened.
So, last session, our group started their descent into the wonders that contained within the Underdark. Some rough exploring took us through in some areas. We kind of forgot the advice given to us by Terran's family that you should stay the fuck quiet because stuff out here is just itching to kill and eat you. And we ran afoul of a swarm of hatchling phase spiders. Cole in particular found this incredibly frustrating due to the amount of single target psychic damage spells that he can wield. Funnily enough, they don't do very well against a swarm of animals. But we eventually managed to beat them back, defend ourselves, and move on into the Underdark, where we eventually ran into some of the local drow of the STARBRIGHT family. It was for the sake of simplification, the good guys in the situation, or at least the less morally dark grey. And whilst they were initially quite keen on having us around under the expectation that we were here to take their side, beat back the Stardims, and generally bolster their position, we tried to maintain at least a strong degree of neutrality to start with until we'd met with both parties. This did put off the Queen, Sabrina, from helping us quite so thoroughly. She went very frosty once we sort of maintained at least a sense of neutrality to start with. And from then on, we were sort of given the cold shoulder, told where to go and to find the Stardims, to make our own opinions, and told to make our own way, pretty much. I believe that's where we left off, with us starting to make our way over to the Stardims and see what the more archetypical drow of the situation might have to say.
So, as you all were venturing down here, trying to find information as to what is actually transpiring, what's going on around here, you did... Is the music playing? Or did Roll20 just freeze again? I'm trying to open a character sheet. There we go. All right. You did encounter what appeared to be a very... How do I put this? Well-marked location, well-maintained location by the Stardim family's power and influence. You came across a number of them as well, and as you were moving into this area, you did end up encountering all of them and surprising them to some capacity, and even as one of them had a shot over at Kai, he caught it, and, well, there appeared to be some type of higher up within the community status individual who decided to tell all of them to put their weapons down so that they don't die to all of you. She seemed to be much more knowledgeable about the situation at hand than all of the other soldiers in this area, and she even seemed to know, in part, about your reputation. You all began walking with her.
That's
So,
invisible.
then you're far away from the party since they're carrying lights with them.
Oh, okay, fine.
So, your reputation seems to precede you. I'm actually quite impressed that you managed to do what you were doing. Tell me, are any of you for hire?
I have done consulting work on occasion. It depends on what payment is in offer. I have very little need of material wealth, but for the right information.
Sorry, I haven't done prostitution in a while.
You watch as she gets a very foul look on her face when he says that.
Sorry.
I don't think you're her type.
I have to remember, where you all come from, people are able to act brash without consequence for their actions.
No, people still want to punch him.
Punch?
Yeah, Kai just nods his head and smiles.
Huh. I suppose all of you are weaker than I thought. Well, as a culture, not necessarily you. Anyway.
How about we keep our opinions of our cultures to ourselves, because I'm pretty sure you wouldn't want to hear mine about yours.
Tara.
Testy, aren't you? All of you, so
here.
testy.
We're here for a specific purpose, and small talk ain't one of them.
Oh, and here I thought your purpose was to converse and learn what is happening down here, and then doing something about it if it needed to happen. I suppose I was wrong.
No, that's the purpose, but small talk ain't part of that.
Very brash and bold-headed, I see.
You must forgive my companion. She is hot-headed and full of opinions.
Roll me a history check, Call.
Oh, that I can do.
Yeah, I know.
$22.
Holy fuck, your dice rolled for like 15 seconds across my screen.
Apologies. I am actually in the process of sorting out the networking in my house, so hopefully...
That's not you, that's me. Well,
fine.
sorry, that's roll 20.
Well, hopefully I'll have a wired internet connection soon.
Yeah, I'm just going to close all of these other character sheets other than the ones that I directly need right now. 22. So, Call, you've had dealings with the Drow under Whitestone and the Alabaster Sierra a handful of times. They have a typical look about them. Their clothing is always very dark colored. Pink is usually their motif, if there's any type of coloration to them. And they always wear very ostentatious looking spider webs and weavings across themselves. This woman you're talking to, she's wearing a blue dress with blue hair and a slightly bit fairer complexion. Not as dusky, dark gray, and more a lighter gray. She doesn't seem to be a part of this culture in particular.
Speaking of not fitting in with the local culture, your garments aren't traditional for this area's drow population.
No, it isn't.
Where might you hail from?
South. She just gives you a smile.
Will I know what generally would be south in the Underdark? Like what would be found
On a
there?
22, unfortunately, that wouldn't tell you. I mean, that could be anywhere. Anywhere.
Yeah, we're at the fucking North Pole pretty much.
Yeah. We are beneath you. Like...
Well.
But yes. I'm here much on the same business as you are, I suppose, in some capacity. Queen Stardim asked me and a few of my soldiers to find our way here and to mediate on her behalf, if possible.
Well, greetings to a fellow negotiator.
She gets a very hateful look in her eye when you say that.
Which part? Fellow or negotiator?
Yeah, fellow.
Yeah, it doesn't like being put on equal standing.
No.
Tough shit.
Terrence
Yeah.
eating it up. Just very pleased with that look on her face.
Well, of course, when we get into her courtroom, I'm mostly curious to see your reaction to all of this. I mean, the Stardims are notoriously old-fashioned, to say the least.
Cole will flash a look back at the others. Let's say you see in his eyes, but you can't see shit in his eyes because they're fucking weird.
But you could mentally tell them.
I can. Just mentally send over to everyone, just like, try to maintain some decorum. It's all well and good being hot-headed with this one, but the Queen will not take so kindly to it. And we have to try and stay neutral, at least for now.
With that, Alistair looks over at Kai, as he's invisible at the moment.
No, he's visible, and Kai is
No,
just
I
frowning.
said that
Yeah.
he's visible at the moment.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kai just frowns and rolls his eyes.
Go ahead, Alistair.
Yeah, I'm just going to like maneuver my hands over my mouth and just do the zip.
I would say Terran should do the talking, but are you going to be okay? And that's out loud.
I'll be perfectly fine. Thank you, Colin, for checking in on me. I thought our accompaniment here was simply that. Didn't realize you were working the same job as us.
Similar jobs, yes. So, I'm curious how they recruited you all in order to do this for them. And you must be mediating on behalf of the STARBRIGHTs?
We are here as a fail-safe to make sure that things go peaceful.
Peaceful? And pray tell, how do you see things going peacefully between the two factions? Curious, I mean, one society as ancient as the land we walk on, and, well, some upset children that defected and have started their own, I suppose you would call them, society.
Our aim is merely to ensure that respect for those wishing to forge their own path is given.
And that's how you think peace would be held.
How we expect peace to be held. What actually happens remains to be seen.
I'm very curious now. And she, like, turns around and starts walking backwards to, like, gauge all of your faces as you're moving. So, that would mean you're here to ensure the STARBRIGHT children are treated as if they can just create their own society here, then.
We're just here to avoid unnecessary bloodshed.
Figured bloodshed is something you'd all be used to by now, but fair enough. Anyways, I am Queen Stellis. It is your honor. What's...
More of my, as I said, Queen Stellis. We have a particular job. And we're on our way to it. I'd rather it be that and that alone.
That would be boring. Do any of you understand Sylvan, by the way?
Oh, I do.
You do? Anybody else?
Mhm.
You do the voodoo.
Okay. Stellis means of night and magic in Sylvan. As a 100% direct translation from that language.
Alistair just kind of like looks at Queen Stellis, looks at Call. He's just like looking around, like, huh, nobody else noticed.
Cole will, like, drop a line into your head. Notice something?
If you believe in coincidences and possible, what's the word for it? Not divine plan, but divine happenstance. You know how, like, your name's called the Void, and you're like void-eyed or whatever the fuck you want to call that. You know, a name that fits the person that you've become.
Well, I picked my name after my transitioning.
Yes, but would you have called yourself Paul if you didn't have that?
No.
I mean, I'm just trying to say her name has a very direct meaning, and if the world likes to play tricks on people depending on coincidental names.
You say it was of light and magic?
Of
Dark and magic.
night and
Dark,
magic.
night and magic, night and magic.
Sounds
Yeah.
drowy.
With a name like that, I think there's at least a 50% chance that she's casting magic at some point.
She's a drow. It's
that's fair.
significantly higher than that.
That is very fair.
I would approximate a 100%
I don't know what the fuck
chance.
drows are.
They're elves, man. They can cast magic. They can all do it.
Aaron can't.
Hey,
Aaron.
most of the men can't in this society.
You know,
Well-
can't is a relative phrase. Can't because they will be killed.
Yeah, exactly.
Or-
They can't.
Drided.
So, as you're all having this conversation, well, unfortunate for you, Taryn, I, for one, am very curious to learn about all of your nature and where you come from while we are venturing with one another. And, of course, as you are walking, you've now entered into this outpost, and the bloodshed is everywhere. You see that there are still mangled bodies lying twisted at the waist on the ground. There is splays of blood and torture all around you through this entire area as you're all walking through here.
You sure know how to decorate.
Oh, this? Oh, they got very violent when I showed up. Apparently, the STARBRIGHTs are not welcoming to a conversation with me. And, well...
But you're such a great conversationalist.
Thank you. I agree. And, well, they attacked, and, well, there's consequences for that. She gestures around her. I mean, I'm surprised you didn't kill my man for shooting at you. She gestures over to him. It would have been perfectly understandable.
We're here to minimize bloodshed. Although some of us may be accustomed to it, we don't crave it.
That's good. So, what part of the STARBRIGHT and the STARDIMS are you accepting of for their culture? Let's get that question out of the way.
I don't give a shit, so I'll leave someone else to weigh in on that.
Alistair says to himself, wow, we're really getting deep into this right now.
I'd rather have these conversations with the person we're here to actually converse with.
No fun whatsoever.
No, I'm not. Sorry.
Then how about what parts of their culture do you not like? There has to be portions. Obviously, the capital punishment aspect seems to make you a little queasy. That's understandable.
What part of I don't want to converse with you have you not understood? I have several languages I can try that in.
I need you to roll me a deception check, Taryn.
Why is that a deception?
That's not the deception. The deception is seeing if she can read your reactions without you knowing you're making them.
12.
Would that be performance?
No. It's a deception. How stone-faced she is. And she smiles.
Okay.
So, you don't like the bloodshed. I'm assuming the whole forced servitude thing is probably a upsetting aspect as well to you. Yes, that is. I'm assuming the refusal to bend against your religious belief is also okay. That's good. Good. And all of you see, like, she's deliberately looking at Taryn and reading her most subtle reactions on her face as she's saying all of these things. What about Michiako? So there is a common footing between us. That's good.
I feel like you're beginning to grind on people's gears.
You say that to her?
You know what? I'll probably get stabbed.
I mean, you're allowed to. Remember, she told her men to stand down to all of you.
Yeah, I'm just going to say that offhandedly.
Well, it is a portion of what is, well, installed when you meet this queen in particular.
Oh,
You
thanks.
see, of course. Just because you're different from me doesn't mean I want you to die. None of you have done anything hostile to me thus far. And having backbone is not a crime where I come from.
Slightly nicer.
Considerably. And if it makes you feel any better, that my society also does not like forced labor whatsoever. Like I said, they're very old-fashioned.
I have no opinion on your society whatsoever, nor do I wish to create one, or nor are you long enough to have one either.
Perfect. Well, shall we continue our march directly to the Star Dims? Or are all of you tired and wish to sleep?
I have already had a cat nap.
Yeah, I was about to say it hasn't been that long since our 20-minute break.
Let's get
Yeah.
over with.
Very well. Shall all of you take the lead? Or do you not want us at your back?
I feel like we have plenty of people capable of scouting ahead. Let's all walk together and enjoy this merry friendship. I, for one, am happy to discuss details of our cultures with my queen.
She smiles at you.
How many torches are there, by the way?
It's hanging lanterns on sticks. There's 4 of them. 2 in the front, 2 in the back.
Okay, thank you.
So it eclipses the entirety of your marching formation with everybody, and continues about 20 feet behind them. With all of you and all of them, you take up about 50 feet in length worth of space as you all move together. You know, unless you all wish to huddle up nice and close to each other, I mean. They seem to want to keep a little distance. Venice Vela. Venice Vela. Alistair, you pick up in Sylvan once again. All of them act the same. Just the same.
In Sylvan, I'm just going to say just about.
She turns to you. You understand the Elder language, she says in common. That is impressive.
Alistair has like a split second of actual, like, for a second, like he thinks it's like he's actually being sincere about it. It's like, oh yeah, there's slight sarcasm in that.
Roll me an insight check. Let's see.
+9 to this. Hopefully, I roll well. Let's say 21, unless no, 21. It was a reactionary.
21. She's not being sarcastic. She seems to honestly think that Sylvan is the superior language compared to others. She has not spoken Undercommon, which is not typical in this location. Everybody you've encountered thus far, when they're not speaking to you directly, speaks Undercommon. She's only spoken Common to all of you, and then Sylvan afterwards.
Alistair kind of just like looks away for a second. He's not used to dealing with an actual compliment.
Oh no, he's shy.
I'm the most innocent one here of you fuckers.
You are 100% correct. Yes.
Yeah.
So, Call of the Void. That is your name?
Just call is sufficient. But yes.
If you all allow me to ask a question and get an honest answer from all of you, I will allow you to ask a question and get an honest answer out of me. We'll call it 21 questions as we're moving. Nice little game. Pass the time.
Deal.
Well, it's not just you. Your companions? She looks around at the other 4 of you.
Yeah, sure.
Looking at Taryn. I mean, it kind of hitches on you to have already signed. I'm mostly just here to be here.
I'll take a look, and I'm gonna hedge my bets on Call being able to get out some interesting information, so she'll roll her eyes and nod.
Really,
And I'll join.
you may go first.
Call.
What relationship do you have with the Stardims that caused them to call upon your services?
Neutrality and indifference. My faction in particular are not from here. And we don't deal in the atypical drow society or dealing most of the time. Therefore, if she were to call upon one of the closer families, that would be a sign of weakness. And she knows that. Whereas if she called upon me, even if it is a sign of weakness, she knows I care not about taking over her territory.
She is shrewd.
Cautious, I would say. Now, if the peaceful negotiations were to fail, which side would you assist?
I, for one, have no particular preference. The Starbrights are pleasant enough. Inoffensive in their mannerisms. But they are young. They have less to offer in terms of their knowledge.
Ooh, din time.
An attendant brings the queen her dinner.
Yas, queen, yas.
It would represent a significant loss of knowledge from the world if the Stardims were to be removed. I would want to make sure that both sides survive, but it would have to. My feeling is that we would have to side against the aggressor in the situation.
Is anything that you just said a lie?
No.
Okay. Very well. Go ahead. Your question.
Oh, I thought she was expecting an honest answer out of everyone. That's interesting.
No, 1 for 1. 1 for 1. She's, while you're talking, Call, she focused on you a little bit, but she was also watching everybody else.
I assume everyone else was looking like, what the fuck is this boy saying?
At least Alistair. Just
Yeah.
what the fuck is wrong with
Karen
this?
was not surprised.
Yeah.
Cole will just slightly look back at everyone and just do a quick mental ping of any burning questions.
What's the pain in my right thigh? No.
Would you like me to look?
So why he telepathically talks to everyone?
Yeah.
Call is, yeah.
I don't know. I ask him if her guards have balls.
call, you
Um,
look, and many of them are male in presentation, so you can just assume if you would like.
Yeah.
Alistair's going
Unless
to
they're
reply.
eunuchs, I don't know. I don't know whether that's
Yeah,
okay.
that's what I was referring to.
Eunuch.
What were you saying,
Snip, snip.
Alistair?
Sorry, that was a reference. Anyway, I'm just gonna ping back the call and just say I don't have any questions that I need to answer, but I think that this one might be all right. Alistair pipes up. Excuse me. You said you were going to be that you are a neutral party in relation to the Star Dims.
Mm-hmm. And the
Well,
STARBRIGHTs.
Yes. Would you hedge any bets? Or choose a side, rather? That's what I'm trying to say. When it came to a breakdown in negotiation.
Choose a side? No. Not at all. Hedge a bet. I would say the STARBRIGHTs have a better than average chance of being successful if these negotiations don't go. But if the negotiations do go well, I believe the STARBRIGHTs would be overturned, probably within 20 years or so.
I just thank you. That was insightful. You have a question for me?
Mayhaps. Where did you learn that tongue?
Simple answer. I really don't have a proper answer to. I learned it from my father, his father before him, so on. I learned it as a child and simply picked up on it through my years of being in the Myriad. So it's a bit of a mixed tongue in a sense.
Interesting. All of you? Question, please.
Aaron? Out of character. Kai, most inappropriate question. Go.
I mean,
We
she
know
agreed to
Kai's
the game.
question.
She
Yeah.
agreed to the game. It's all I'll say.
Would you respect the STARBRIGHT's existence and independence if they were to gain it through these negotiations?
I would maintain my indifference to it. Not respect. Respect needs to be earned outside of just conversation. Action, generation. That earns respect. But I will indeed maintain my indifference to them. What is your affiliation with the Myriad? She turns back to you, Alistair.
I'm going to look at Taryn like, isn't this supposed to be for her?
No?
Oh, by the way, Jero.
Yeah?
As a question for you, since I did look at your face while I was saying my part, Was the actual frown on your face you or her?
With your 21 insight, her. You incited the Chia. Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun. I'm going to turn to her again. I was just going to say, well, say I was a member. That was a bit of an overstatement, or rather, misnomer. I didn't feel myself a member of the Myriad. I was a member of a cult, misled and complacent. A sect of the Myriad, but not Myriad. I have rectified that mistake.
Her frown softens ever so slightly. Go ahead. She looks at you, Kai. I can tell it's just burning you up inside.
Out of character. Well, that's the herpes.
He's immune to disease.
Immune to disease.
That's the flaming oil that Taryn threw at him last time. That's what...
There's
Bottle
still
of
a little bit
herpes.
fire in the bush.
Oh, fire in the bush.
I can make the jokes.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
No, but out of character. We need to get you a fucking chastity curse.
Well, Kai's only question would be: are most of the men in your society have the junk?
Only the ones that wish to. If you're inquiring as to snip snip, only if they wish to. Some do. Others are born without. Others are born with. Makes no difference.
Did you have a question?
For you, no. No, you don't interest me at all.
Oh, guys, heard at this.
You're not interesting. To a queen, of course. I mean, you're interesting to some queens, but not this queen.
He's moved it back to checking out the guys in the group.
That one,
guards.
Joey went over my head, came around and smacked me in the back of it.
We have fun here sometimes. Anyways, she'll turn towards. Taryn. Your contraption that you are known for using. Where did you get it from? The small, clear one.
I purchased the plans off of Dr. Ripley and made modifications of my own.
So you are lying to her. Right now you have the Luciphon one.
Yeah, she asked where I got it from, and that's how I made it. She didn't ask about the augment.
Ah. She'll look at you closely when you say that and then just roll her eyes. Very well. I'll phrase my question better next time. Next question. You all don't have to take turns. If you have a question, just ask.
What manner of forbidden texts does the Queen Stardim have in her possession?
Sorry. the phrase forbidden text, it means something completely different where I come from.
Did my current insight perceive that as smut?
That was where I went to. I was like, that's Kai's kind of.
No, not
The
not
sacred
her.
texts.
Kai perks up at that.
And the queen said, and behold unto okay. And anyways. No.
The lusty Argonian maid.
What was the other book? The Dal Drow or some shit like that?
Probably.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one. From the Wednesday game.
Yep.
As for what she would consider text in order to hide from others, it would mostly be religious in attribute. The ones that pertain to the Spider Queen in particular. Her words, her dealings, her actions, her favor, her preference. What do you religious folks call it? Dogma. Most. As well as texts on mind manipulation. Probably. Her society is exceptionally good at that. Exception. I hope some of you have fortifications already.
Son.
Y'all gotta be careful about your brains.
Bitch, I can't be thought.
I mean, you.
No.
What happens when Kai goes to the enemy side? Y'all are fucked. Just... you have to find him first.
Well, I was going to say, yeah, anyway.
Three effects.
Everyone light a fucking torch. Just...
Yeah.
That's why I have mental prison.
Yeah. It's good. It's good.
Straight people everywhere.
Jero, are drow considered fae?
They have Fey ancestry.
So the effects of protection from good and evil would not work.
No. They have only the Fey ancestry. They are not actual Fey.
How could you?
Fine then. You. She looks back at you, Taryn. The magic imbued in the fiendish origin of its explosive capabilities. Whom did you receive it from?
A devil by the name of Lucifer.
Cole's ears just.
Cole, history or religion check. Let's see what you know with this. You have a good chance of knowing some shit.
Oh, come on!
Oh.
No!
Oh, all I saw was a 20. I was like, yay.
Yeah, that would have been interesting, but no. Cole, you're like, you sneezed when she said it, so you didn't hear. What? Just you missed it.
Just rubbing down the ear bone. No.
So a natural 20 and a 1.
Religion I
Yep.
can't do. I need to get a feat for more skills.
It's fine. It's fine. It's a good skill to have. And when you say that, she kind of like looks at you and you just became much more interesting to me, Miss Farlight.
Trust me,
You've-
she isn't.
You remain the same interest to me.
That must be a character flaw. Anyways, next. You guys aren't at 21 yet.
Oh god, we're actually gonna have to go through 21. Fuck.
Well, it's back and forth. So you guys end up getting 13, I think, or 12, or 11. You guys get 11 and she gets 12. No. That's not how math works. You guys get 10.
That's
She gets
23.
11.
What do you gain out of your participation here with the Starnam family?
She smiles. To finally pay up on my last favor to them. And no longer have to deal with them ever again. Though, of course, that favor does entail ensuring her safety if anything were to go wrong. Without proper respects given to the negotiations. That was my term. She does not have the right to call upon me in order to control her problems completely. Mediate is one thing, but to handle it, that would be disrespectful to me, and I would not stand for that. Are you beholden to that devil?
In so much I owe him a favor, yes.
Wow. Seems they're still up to their old ways. Anything else?
What magics do you have at your disposal? A name such as yours, it would be a shame if you didn't have some potent magical ability.
She looks at you, shakes her head, and then looks at Alistair again and smiles, and then goes back.
Alistair, like when the gaze meets his, he's just going to slowly veer his head in a different direction.
Well, I have a number of different spells at my disposal. I am capable of calling upon the radiance of the night in order to strike and burn my enemies. I am capable of unraveling an individual's mind and leaving them as, well, nothing. I'm also capable of nullifying magic if I see that it needs to happen, of course. And on top of that, well, there's my capacity to discern when somebody is lying to me, no matter what.
I think as she's saying all this, my eyes start to, like, the star field in my eyes just starts to swirl a little bit more actively, and I activate my, my Eldritch Sight, and I just want to see if she's, like, wearing any magical items.
Moonbeam. You think it would be Moonbeam. Actually, she has that one. And others. On her person, she has a necklace that is magical. Very magical. But that's all you see.
Cool.
And, of course, to move between planes is in my repertoire as well.
A formidable ally.
I wouldn't go that far, quite. She intrigues me. None of you fascinate. Not yet. Maybe soon. And she looks up at you again, Alistair.
There's like not a whimper, but I know it, but a noise that emerges from him. It's like, yeah.
Well, I suppose I only have one last question. She looks at you, Call. What exactly are you hoping to get out of all of this?
Me personally, I have an arrangement with the Farlights that I have some unfettered access to their library in exchange for my services as a mediator. And I do hope to gain similar access to the bookshelves of the Stardims. I do love a good book.
Well, then. I would like to offer you all a truce in the coming activity. So long as you can maintain your composure until the very end of the negotiation. And if you succeed, well, I am willing to offer you all a free ride anywhere that you wish to go. Anytime, any place, any world.
I saw that unmute mute, Jason.
Kai asks, what do you mean by composure?
Don't strike first.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah. Well,
in all honesty, I don't want to fight you all. I feel like that could go poorly for me. Considering you all took on, well, a weakened state Baphomet.
I don't
Yes.
strike first, I strike last. Up, mic drop.
Roll me a charisma check.
That could be viewed in a couple different ways.
Yup.
Really? Okay.
Yep. Charisma.
Charisma.
Yeah. Ten.
Oh.
Okay. Nobody catches on to the innuendo.
Okay, I didn't know the Indian.
Oh, there was one present, just not a very direct one for once. Those are the ones that usually get you some, when it's not really direct, and it takes a moment to go, oh.
Is it
You know,
sexual
that's-
innuendo? I just meant fighting wise.
You strike last. Oh, so you're always last. Okay. Yes. But anyways.
I
she
didn't
offers
realize
this
that
to you.
Kai's a service top is the take I needed to hear today.
Well, somebody's gotta be.
He purely was talking about fighting at that point, which is unusual for him. I admit. But he was completely.
The moment you're not being directly sexual.
Is when it all comes pouring out.
Oh god, there's another innuendo in there.
Ah, jeez.
Oh my.
But anyways. Do you all have a deal?
And
You're muted.
That is quite acceptable for me.
Very good. And she turns and looks at all of you, but it is all or none.
I never planned on being the first.
Same here.
I don't plan on being an aggressor, but if push comes to shove, I will end it.
That is fair. I only ask that you don't throw the first attack. Alistair, with your previous insight on her, based off of what she told you, she is only supposed to intervene if something happens before the negotiations are out. Afterwards, she doesn't have to do anything. So she's trying to coax you all to not do anything until the negotiations are over, so she doesn't have to do shit. And as she has clearly stated, she does not actually wish to fight all of you.
Okay, so sorry, I was going to say something, but I was on mute. So basically, this she's just trying to be lazy.
If that's how you want to interpret it.
Nah. She just doesn't want to have much skin in the game.
I think the point is she doesn't have any skin in the game. She just wants to get paid and get out. She has no interest in fighting for anyone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She has been 100% like Call in this entire engagement, except more directly curious and aggravating. Call is subtly curious and aggravating. Like a cat.
There is nothing subtle about cat's
Your
curiosity.
cat's like a 30-pound puppy. Like, it's...
I woke up to being slapped this morning, so yeah.
Makes sense.
I feel like that's only a bonus for you.
Wow. You're just going to call her out like that in the middle of the...
Yeah, right, yeah.
Damn.
Cold call for a reason.
Oof. Oof. I'm just going to oof on that one real quick, and
Oof.
then... Yep.
Oof.
Oh no, that one's the bad song. I don't like that song anymore. Anyways. You've all continued this conversation over the span of... Fucking go away! God, I hate that new update. You know the update on the end of your browser where it's like, here's all of the news in the area. Go fuck yourself. That is the dumbest shit that you ever made, Windows. Like, goddamn, bring back Clippy. That sucks. I'm okay with that. Clippy never bothered me. That fucking annoys me because, oh, you glanced over it. We're going to take up a quarter of your screen with shit I don't care about. I don't give a fuck what the weather is outside. I'm inside. But anyways, sorry. Who said what? Clippy never bothered me anyway. You know, you ain't wrong. But anyways. You've continued walking for a period of time, and during this walk, none of you really noticed as you were so entranced with your conversation with her that it kind of just evaded you the whole time. You've been moving at, like, an incredible speed. The walls themselves seem to contort and allow you to travel through here much more quickly than you otherwise would have been. And after only about 3 hours of this movement, you come across a large sealed door. The door itself is a perfect circle that has a spider that lies on top of it that's made completely out of metal and has a gigantic emerald in the thorax itself. Each of the 8 legs latch into the sides of the walls in their own little holsters that seem to lock this door in place. As you all have approached up to it and stopped, I need all of you to give me a con save.
Oh, goody.
Oh, no.
All right, Terran is successful. Only Terran is successful. Okay.
I have been annoyed so much to this point, I am invincible.
Everybody else, you feel the rushing fatigue as if you have been sprinting for the past couple of hours, though you've been leisurely walking to make it here. And that fatigue lies into you and causes the three of you to have to, like, catch your breath. You're winded, you're tired. It's, you're not sure what just happened, but it felt uncomfortable. Taryn, you feel the same way, but other than a little bit of a sweat over your brow, you're fine. And you look over at the queen, who looks the same manner as your other three allies, and all 6 of her guards, or 8 of her guards, are heavily breathing right now. They are very winded. Just... Well, it looks like we made good time. The 3 of you have suffered 1 level of exhaustion.
I don't need any disadvantages on my rolls. I'm good enough. Those by myself.
You never took Elven accuracy.
Listen, I couldn't do you with Taryn like I did you with Reagan.
I appreciate that very much. Although at this, I mean, I love the fact that you're just meeking it. It's like, I hit or it dies. Like, there's no in between. Like, miss or die. Miss or die.
Yep.
So, yeah. She stands in front of the symbol and kind of just chuckles to herself. And in Sylvan, such an insignificant faith. Then she looks back at you, Alistair, with a sly smile.
I just say in Sylvan. Do you think she can hear you say that?
She looks back. The queen or the spider?
You know, you just terrified me. Thanks.
Anyways, she looks at one of the other mages. Well, this is your home. Open it. Then she takes a step back. The 6 of them go over towards the door, and each of them grabs onto a leg and starts chanting something. And then there are the 2 legs at the top that are slowly retracting as they are doing this. And over the course of about a minute, the legs slowly retract into the spider itself. And then the large circular door presses backwards and then rotates out of the way as you all see a vibrant, shining, beautiful city. The architecture is all dark colored stones that have trimmings of ivory and beautiful spider webs and gorgeous whites, purples, blues everywhere you look. You see the hanging, dangling spider eggs that illuminate the surrounding area are attached to the ceiling itself and drop downwards, hovering nearly but 8 feet off the ground, illuminating the streets. And speaking of the streets, the solid, well-purposed, smooth floorings underneath you as you begin walking across it. This is a gorgeous, beautiful city. Even stepping on the smooth, solid marble flooring, you can tell the architecture put into this location must have taken years to craft properly for each section of this city. And of course, Stellis will look at all of you, smile, and take a couple of steps down the stairs. Nice city. Shame if there's something happened. And she looks back at each of you. You know, this is the only part of this city I honestly like.
It does have a charm to it. I've always found architecture in the Underdark to be fascinating. The way that basic amenities are structured differently with no need to worry about things like rain.
It is beautiful, isn't it? And they artificially create their own light. Though I always preferred the stars, personally. Make them a little brighter, dimmer, beautiful. And you begin walking down the stairs from this path, and you notice that there are many soldiers in the streets and many other individuals lollygagging, having a good time, just frolicking, enjoying themselves. Kids with a ball and a stick, just playing stickball with a ball and a stick, and just enjoying a stick and a ball. Nothing special here, guys. And then, as you're walking through and notice the peaceful atmosphere, all of you have a passive above 12, right? Other than Taryn?
Yep.
All right, cool. Other than Taryn...
Who's glaring at the back of the queen's head, imagining a bullet through it.
It could fit so perfectly. Right? The three of you start noticing the individuals pushing carts, moving crates, and how they have these strong collars attached to them that have a purplish glow that wraps around it. The ratio of forced laborers in this location to citizens seems to be 3-1 in favor of the citizens.
What's up with all the collars?
She looks back at you. Those are the people being forced to work for them.
What do the collars do?
Absolutely nothing so long as they don't try to rebel. She turns and looks over at you. Does that anger you?
Yes.
He smiles. Well, we all have a very interesting meeting to get to. I don't suppose any of you care to stop for a little drink before we keep going, do you?
I would be amenable to such a thing. I do like drow fungus wine.
Oh, it is so delicious. Some of the best I've experienced.
Just a shame when it's made from myconids.
I never cared about the creation of it personally, but...
Oh, that was a joke. I'm sorry.
I didn't catch that. In character and out of character, I did not catch that.
Oh, no, it was just Cole being awkward.
Oh.
I don't know.
I don't. Anyways. She continues walking through the city streets and, well, you all following her and her small group of drow that seem to be guarding her very closely and watching all of you. And the soldiers in these streets seem far more well-equipped than the ones you met over in the Stardims family. They are very well trained. All of their armor seems polished and nice. And yeah, they clearly are not hurting nearly as bad as the Stardims have been during this entire incursion. You hit your hand or the cat?
Me, all by myself.
Yep, there we go. As you've walked through this area, you see that there is a massive shrine. The building itself is in the shape of a spider on top of a tower that stretches upwards about 60, 70 feet or so. And she seems to be walking directly towards it. The amount of security on the outside is impressive, to say the least. You can count the number of shadow blades, because at least Kai, Taryn, and Alistair have encountered shadow blades quite often. It's easy for you to discern that they are there. There's about 6 shadow blades on the outside of the building, on guard and patrol. 2 mages on the walls, keeping an eye. And 1 arachnomancer which is someone that only Call would recognize. An individual who is similar to a druid, where they can transform into a giant spider at will, and they actually become quite powerful and scary if they do that. But all of them seem to be watching you as the queen walks up to the gates and looks over at one of the mages on the wall. And who exactly are all of you? She just smiles and looks back at Taryn.
We're the negotiators from Blackstone.
And I am Queen Stellis of the Noct Court. Call religion check. Alistair, no need. Actually, Taryn, you have Fey ancestry. Religion check. Yep. The Noct Court is one of the Fey courts in the wilds themselves. It is the Court of Night. The people who study magic far more, and divination in particular, compared to all of the other ones. She's apparently a queen of a court, not a queen of drowns. And Alistair, you recognize that immediately the moment she says it. Just because you have been properly taught Sylvan, and when you learn a language, you learn the culture around the language. That is the language of the Fae. Very well. And he looks over at the other mage as both of them...
I was muted.
Okay, what'd you say?
Alistair's immediately going to he doesn't react to it and slowly turns to her.
She'll look up at you. Yes.
I did not realize we have a court in here.
Well, I told you I was a queen.
Sorry, I had assumed.
That is fine. But the two mages on top of the wall put their hands together and pull out a web and throw the web and intertwine between the two of them as they start unlocking a system of webs underneath them that mimic the web that they are using with their hands that slowly opens the gate, as if the steel bars themselves were made out of that same webbing. And now that it is fully open, she will walk with all of you only a half a step in front of Taryn. Actually, wait, Taryn, you're faster than her. You could walk faster than her if you want to be that person.
Nah. I'm gonna keep my eyes right on a target.
All right. And you all walk... Yeah?
Kai's keeping out, noticing anyone with a collar on.
Oh, there's a lot of them. Like I said, it's a one-third ratio down here. Or 1/4 of the population down here. Yeah, that's what it would be. And of course, as you enter into the courtyard itself, there is a shimmer of light around each of you. None of you were disguising yourselves, correct?
No.
Okay, good. And you begin walking up over towards this tower with the spider on top of it, and you see out front appears to be a consort of some capacity. A very large, broad-shouldered drow man, maybe 6'4", 6'5" or so, seems to be watching all of you very closely and has regal symbology across him of this massive clasping red spider that holds the side of his cloak to him as you all are approaching, and he's holding his hands resting on top of the pommel of his blade on his left-hand side. And he immediately drops to a knee when he looks at Queen Stellis. We are glad that you arrived safely, Queen. Not for a lack of trying from other sources, of course. If you tell us the name, he looks up at her, we will kill them. And I think that's where we'll go ahead and go on break, everybody. When we come back, you guys get to meet Queen Stardim. Yay!
Yay!
All right, everybody, we will be right back. Hello and welcome everybody out there in YouTube and D&D land. I hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Before we jump into the action, don't forget, like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy this content. If you want to support us a little further here in the community, then you can become a member or join our Patreon. Joining that will get you into our Discord server where you're able to join any of our special one-shots that are happening, as well as get onto our waiting list for any of our campaigns. Luckily, our waiting list is actually pretty dry right now because summer happened and everybody's, back to living life because of that thing being over. We all know what that thing is. I'm still not sure if YouTube is banning your account for saying it or not, so I'm just not going to say it. But anyways, yay, that thing. Woo, people are doing things. But yeah, if you're interested in jumping in, go ahead and go through all of that. Or even just hanging out, learning about the world lore that we are gathering every single day. But yeah, I think that'll be everything. Where last we left off, you all had met up with Queen Stellis under the guise of deceptively being a drow queen. You all immediately did not like her very much, as her stance seemed to have been true neutral in favor of the Stardim family, which, for anybody with a good moral compass, would not be for them. Just to make perfectly clear, none of you are in the wrong for being against the Stardim family. None of you. At all. But you had a short game of 21 questions where she seemed to be deliberately pissing off Taryn during all of these questions in order to coax the answers out from the look on her face. Taryn not being able to control her RBF as well as she would wish sometimes. Gave away a lot of information about everything transpired. But Call seemed to get a lot of information from her, and Alistair seemed to gain favor with her, as he revealed that he speaks her native tongue, Sylvan. After traveling for a short period of time, you found your way into this ancient drow city and civilization, where, as beautiful as it may seem, it is still horrific to watch all of the forced laborers that are inside of this city. The people who are held here against their will in order to do work for this society to be prosperous. Now, you walk through the city streets and then made your way up to a very large, very well secured location. A gate that led to a massive tower that has a spider on top of it that might be ornate, or hopefully is ornate, as it covers the entire side of the tower itself. Doesn't really look like the size of a spider anybody is interested in fighting. After making yourselves aware, Queen Stellis did reveal exactly who she was to each of you. The Queen of the Court of Noct, within the wilds themselves. A Fae Queen. Not a drow queen, though she definitely has drow-like features about her. So, all of you are allowed inside, and as you look at this incredible, beautiful-looking building, you start seeing the intricately woven floor that almost looks like webbing that has been altered and changed around in order to look like this. You see 6 distinct green flowing streams that all seem to be going to the back side of the building of some type of liquid that looks a little thicker than water, but still flowing fairly easily and unabated. Now, as you all are looking at this, you see, walking forward, that there is a number of security measures here. There are mages right next to you all, watching you closely. 6 of them you count from side to side. Everybody feel free to venture up as far as Queen Stellis is without going in front of her.
My.
priestesses of the
I
Spider
think
Queen.
that's a solid no. Oh wait, my computer just froze. That's the thing.
Okay, I just moved you up. It's fine.
Yeah, I thought I was like, is nobody moving, or is this just my computer?
Am I close enough to hear what's going on?
If they yell,
Okay. Kai is just keeping an eye out.
that's fine. You all venture forward, and you see, standing on either side of the stream appears to be shadow blades, on guard, weapons at the ready, both of them very prepared for some type of encounter that may transpire depending on what happens. And you see further up ahead is Mother Stardim, the queen herself, seated on top of a gorgeous throne that seems to have the heads of individuals on most of the points on it, as well as cobwebs attached to the skulls and draping down all over. Her clothes are pure white that looks like silken webs all woven together very, very carefully and very graciously that flows all the way down, covering everything other than her feet and below her forearm, as well as her neck upwards. Standing on either side of her, slightly behind, you see two other priestess here. Very well dressed, not as ostentatiously as Mother Stardim herself, though they are at the ready holding their staves upwards, watching you all cautiously. As you all approached forward, you notice on either side of her are larger pools of that same flowing water that you see this almost serpentine, circling looking entity inside with a spine back is moving around very slowly in that liquid. As the Queen Stardim looks at you all, hello. You all are our honored guests. I am Mother Queen Stardim. She gestures outwards, and Queen Stellis will bow before her.
Well, considering how people reacted to me like nodding a head towards Queen Stellis, I'm gonna can I inside the room to see if I'm supposed to bow here or not?
100% you are.
Okay, no inciting it.
Yeah.
There's-
If
I
the other
get-
queen bows, more than
Yeah.
likely all of you are expected to bow.
I guess I'll bow to be like,
There's a there's a formal bow, but there's no flourish or anything. Just what's expected.
And Call, you're
You're
usually
really
pretty
quiet.
good about these things. Yeah. Your hair's
Paul
covering your
absolutely
mic.
bows.
Yeah. And Kai, how about you? Do you bow?
Kai try to hold sustain and just is a quick little tip over and then
Mother Stardim smiles at you all. It is a pleasure to see the surface dwellers are taking such careful consideration of this event that is happening. And I assure you all, it is 100% on my to-do list to not affect any of you as we have remained separated for so long. You all are welcome guests to stay here inside of my home, so long as you are here. Queen Stella stands and smiles. Queen's mother, Stardim, It is a pleasure journeying here. And I have to say, I am impressed. You have such magnificent security here for you. The rest of the war must not be a problem at all. Mother Stardim smiles. Given the nature of us dealing with surface dwellers, I wanted to have extra precaution. Extra precautions to save you at the potential expense of your station out there. Wow, you must be very confident in their ability to fight against the daughters of yours? Daughter of mine. The other one was a bastardized child. No relation to me. Well, unfortunately, I have not been given the opportunity to go meet up with your daughter's daughter yet. I do plan on it. After I hear a little bit from them and you. She looks back at the four of you and then back over to Mother Stardim. Alistair, I would like another insight check from you.
Against who?
The Queen Stellis. You're not close enough to Stardim to actually see her face perfectly.
Well, she does have a veil thingy.
Yep.
I take it that Queen Stellis' mind is a impregnable fortress to me.
That's if you're close enough to reach her.
You can tap into it, and he is close enough to reach her. The Queen Stellis is staying right by you. It's Queen Stardim that is not by you. You can tap into Stellis' mind, though there's absolutely no surface thoughts whatsoever. She seems to be controlling her mind very well.
22.
22. Queen Stellis is doing the same thing to Mother Queen Stardim, whichever you want to refer to her, as she was doing to Terran, deliberately trying to prod at her in order to get more information. This seems to be a very common tactic of her. You can't imagine a lot of people like their first interaction with her.
Well, that's why I stay out of interactions.
Terran's kind of like, oh, it wasn't just me. Okay.
Oh, no.
You know what? Actually, I can respect it. It's like a little bit more fun right now.
It's a game to her. Well, I mean, it's a job to her. She's really good at it. So, these four I met over at that fort your people had attacked and overrun. Though, you didn't tell all of them that I was coming by to go speak to your daughter. So, I regret to inform you, your soldiers are dead. You attacked my soldiers. They attacked me. And you know what happens when you attack a queen. No mercy. So, to clarify what happened at that fort outpost, she was not the one who murdered the entire outpost. She murdered this queen's soldiers because they attacked her.
Reasonable.
Yeah. But anyways, the four of them don't seem very well accustomed to high courtship, so allow me to make their introductions for them. This is Lady Terran Farlight, from the Farlight family. Call of the Void of the Void.
A pleasure, Mother Stardim.
She doesn't give you any recognition in your statement. Alistair. And Kai.
Kai briefly smiles and then stops.
Smile. Oh shit, stop.
No, just a pleasant.
Oh, okay.
Whatever.
Yeah, that's fair. The four of them are, of course, confirmed slayers of the demon prince Baphomet. And as she says that, you see the two shadow blades grip their blades much more tightly and lean towards the four of you. And after gauging them for a moment, I am impressed. I mean, they put me on a back foot, Mother Stardim. Well, that is to be expected when you are not in your home, surrounded by your people, Queen Stellis. Of course. I'm at such a disadvantage here.
Out of character. Cat fight in stereo.
This
In
is a
character.
politics fight. Yeah.
Well, sometimes you can't necessarily rely on knowing your terrain. In fact, we won the abyss itself when we took care of Baphomet.
What are the demands of the surface dwellers during the mediation? Sorry, I told you guys everything. It's, this is politics.
I had notes, I just don't know where things went.
And Kai said when I pay attention.
That's fair. Yeah, Alistair.
Out of character, I'm pretty sure it was really only releasing. What was it? Something about slaves. Are some people being held political jurisdiction was a issue with the escaped slaves, I believe.
That was one of the issues, yes.
Allowing the splinter group their own freedom to do as they must, and I can't remember the last thing, if there was one.
So, the things that were told to all of you. A, the violence at all locations ends until these negotiations are complete. You all are to be given free access to wander between the two groups and factions, unencumbered by either of them. And, of course, while you are here, any attack against you is breaking the trust and treaty of the Surface and Whitestone, which will allow you all to execute the situation as you see fit. And this also includes mind tampering. So if one of them tries to magically charm you, that's an attack on you. Then Taryn gets to have fun. And Kai, apparently.
I'm just imagining. So my brain, when he said that, just went to an Oblivion guard or an Oblivion NPC going, "Assault! Assault!" and screaming and flailing.
See, my mind just immediately went to Dracula blasting in the background as the two of them are running through the city. Ah! Just killing everyody.
Help!
Oh no, it's just
I'm out of bullets. How did I run out of bullets?
In the system. I still have 160 bullets. I'm okay.
There's more than that amount of people down here. So
I have a knife. We're okay.
That's fair. All right, I'll throw this shit at them. So is that what you tell her, Alistair?
I'll whisper that to Taryn.
Queen, we are expecting that the violence between both sides is to be ended completely until we've reached the end of these negotiations. And neither side is to interfere in our movements between the two. And any violence directed at us, including any attempt at magically influencing our minds, is in direct violation of our agreement, which therefore is broken, and we may act to protect ourselves with the full force of Whitestone behind us.
Mother Stardim leans forward. I have conditions as well. We can accommodate your movement, and can assure you no member of my court will lay a hand on you or mentally infiltrate you. Though my direct promise of that ends with my court. I assume all of you are capable of handling yourselves against people who don't even rank in my system. Furthermore, your free movements must be monitored by 2 individuals. My consort Drax will be joining you, as well as Queen Stellis, as a third-party neutral agent, with the understanding that if any of you try to influence these negotiations, that she is allowed to do whatever necessary to stop it, as well as my consort. Queen Stellis just smiles. So that's what you want me here for? To pretend to be your lapdog? Honestly, I thought you would have more faith in your court. Queen Stardim looks over at her. Why take risks when I could risk others?
I do have a comment on the monitoring of movement. As your city is magically protected, my request is that your consort and your associate not be present whenever we are allowed inside of the STARBRIGHT security, just for how would you want to phrase this, to keep everything above the table.
My consort will remain outside, though if one of them attacks him in any capacity, we will be unrelenting.
Certainly.
And Queen Stellis still stays with you at all times. Well, I don't much care to help either of you in this situation. I'm just trying to finally get rid of that awful favor I owe you. So, shouldn't be an issue. Right?
I
She
feel
looks
we can
back at
all
you.
conduct ourselves appropriately.
Call, since you've been keeping your radar open, the 4 mages are wondering if any of you are trying to slyly do something, and they seem to be looking for some sorcerer, and they can't decide which of you that is. Queen Stellis, for the first time since you've been with her, opens up a surface thought that is not guarded. You're still up here, correct?
I keep an ear open.
She's using careful words. Not sure if you caught on to any.
She's as guarded as I would expect. I don't much trust her, but I don't think that anyone with half a brain cell would.
I agree to these terms. So, you all look fatigued. A little out of breath. She says that looking at everybody, but her gaze lingers on Queen Stellis a little longer. How about a meal?
I have a question, Your Highness.
Queen, to you.
Apologies, Queen Starden. Am I to be safe in the assumption that all members of the negotiating party will be treated with equal levels of respect? We fully appreciate the cultural norms of your society. However, we would ask that a degree of reverence be extended to ourselves, so as not to disadvantage 3/4 of our party.
Roll me a persuasion call.
I'm going to use my game advantage on this.
Yeah, okay. We just want to be treated like people, man.
Yeah.
15. Wow, you're really not good at persuading.
Yeah.
While in my tower, that is fine. Outside of my tower, you will not have people questioning our way of life, and therefore, the other 3/4 of your party will be treated as consort to Lady Terran.
Yeah, Kai doesn't like that at all.
Yeah, I figured.
Wait for it.
Sorry, if you would have rolled higher, she would have been like, I mean, we're not going to argue with you. Fine. They'll see how stupid that is.
It is most gracious of you, my queen. My thanks to you.
I believe this is enough conversing. Mages, summon us a feast. Now, it is also my understanding while you are here, you are supposed to be learning about our customs. To properly communicate that to your superior. And you watch as the 6 mages move together and start summoning a table into existence in the middle of this room, directly in front of Mother Stardim, so that she would be at the head of the table. Moving over to the side, Queen Stellis, obviously. Her first priestess. Her second priestess. And then it's up to all of you. Let's see if y'all remember the whole politic talk we had. The whole, what was it? Etiquette talk.
Kai is just thinking, oh, not this again.
Alistair instinctively stands right behind Terran, just like, oh, wait.
Then she smiles. I said you're all welcome.
So
in
it's
here."
Terran, I believe you should have the next closest seat to Mother Stardom as the leader of our delegation.
And take that seat and nod to the rest of everyone as a, all right, guys, here we go.
Yeah, Cole
to
will.
be interpreted as her giving her permission, but more or less like, but to everyone else.
Back me up, please.
Yeah.
Kai walks to the other end of the table, twists the chair around, and sits down straddling it.
With the back of how tall are you, Kai? Because it's like one of those high back chairs. Like it's a fancy, nice place. It's not like a, dining hall.
Fine, he'll plop down into it normally.
Wow, Kai sits normally? For some reason, I always thought you were bisexual.
What?
Sorry, that's a TikTok joke.
Yeah, I'm
exactly.
The chair straight. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a lesbian? I thought you were an American.
Yeah, no. Bisexuals don't sit normally ever.
No.
Straight as they come.
I mean, if you say so. Anyways.
Yeah, you wouldn't be the first to say that.
It's fine, dude. You have no idea how many people always thought I was gay. It was funny. I was like, no, I just don't care. And then Alistair, I assume you'll sit next to the other priestess. You all sit around the table. And you watch as a handful of the forced laborers start bringing out meals and placing it down on the table. The meat is slightly discolored compared to meat that all of you are used to. The wine, you're on the priest side. The wine is more vibrant than wine you usually see. And the cutlery, the glasses, and all of the fine wares here are so incredibly high class. The glass itself is a silver base with a twisting silver coil that has what looks like the edges of a spider's grip at the bottom of it, with perfectly see-through clear glass resting in there, and the trimming around the rim is also silver. It is so incredibly nice. I mean, this is probably some of the most fine china any of you have come across, or cutlery. And everything is this ornate and ostentatious, as well as the meal that is being presented to you. And a couple of the servants start cutting pieces of this meat and placing it onto your plates, and taking sections of the mushrooms that are the vegetables. And I don't give a fuck who you are. Mushrooms are a goddamn vegetable. I understand there's another word for it. It's still a goddamn vegetable. I don't care.
A vegetable is a culinary invention anyway.
It's a vegetable. So you're all served that as well, and the wine is poured, and it almost has like a purplish hue to it. As Queen Stellis smiles. Isn't it so nice to be peaceful at times? Relaxing, really. I have to say, I have been enjoying my vacation. How are things in the wild going as of late? There's actually been a little bit of commotion lately. Some of the diviners have noticed an encroachment towards New Embrace. I was curious if anybody knew anything about this? Yeah. And she looks at the four of you.
kind of just grouchy at the seeing the servers and chowing down, not probably being a little bit more of a slob than usual.
Does Kai even use cutlery?
Knife, stab, eat. I mean,
yeah, basically, yeah.
I could see it. Just eat with a knife.
I mean, he was raised in a brothel, so he has some manners.
Yeah, you have etiquette when you choose to.
When you choose.
Yeah, it's a choice.
Yeah.
Choice. So she looks at the four of you. Are any of you aware of some encroachment on our tiny little universe here?
Would I have any idea? I would imagine I'm probably the most likely to be clued in.
Do you have any divination spells at all?
Maybe.
Okay.
Abjuration, necro. Yes. I
Okay.
have scrying.
Oh, okay. So you are familiar with divination as a school of magic. Roll me an Arcana check.
And contact other plane.
I could ask.
I know a guy.
15.
Hey, yo, why you invading, bitch?
Who dis? And then you go crazy.
Spell
15.
Udis.
I mean, you know of the void. That is what surrounds New Embrace. If something is encroaching through the void, you haven't heard about it. Then again, it's been a little while since you talked to them. So who knows? But of course, you know that if anything would know about something encroaching through the void, it would be the void.
Yeah. Do you have all of the information you require about this encroachment?
Not yet, no. But I'm still very curious about it.
Leave that with me. I will come back to you in the morning and see what I can find.
Look at you being useful. Who would have thought?
Tit for tat, my queen.
Immediately, one of the priestess grabs a knife and looks very pissed off. But she doesn't react upon it.
Just eating the shit.
What was going through the priestess's mind?
You talked on equal terms.
Just look
Favor
at the
for
priest.
favor. You're supposed to be, in their culture, it's servience.
Oh, 100%. I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's not what Cole's about. Cole is aware of their cultural stuff. He just does not. He's no intention of debasing himself before it. He's just aware. And in this circumstance, he knows that Queen Stellis isn't going to give too much of a shit.
Not really.
No.
Well, and all of you are kept so far in the dark, I doubt you know anything. Correct, Mother Stardip? We do not care about those stupid inquiries that our ancestry seems to care about. We care more about the loyalty of our people and the control over them, as well as sorting ourselves closely with the one that gives us our power. You mean the Spider Queen? Immediately, both of the priestess seem very pissed off when she says that like that. And how about the rest of you? It's a rare opportunity to sit with such fine nobility in one place. Any questions?
I'm going to think as my surface thought. Call.
Yes.
Oh, that worked. You think I'm gonna get stabbed sitting next to them? They've been gripping their knives a lot.
Don't try to talk to them as an equal. You should be fine.
Do I ever
They
do
won't do
that?
anything without the good mother's input.
All right. You think they'll freak out when they notice I'm a priest?
No idea.
Well, let's hope they don't. Anyway, Alistair kind of just like looks up from his mushroom stew. I guess is the best way he would look at it as. Would I be alright in asking a question?
Mother
the-
Stardim glares towards you, and Queen Stellis immediately chimes in. Oh, absolutely. Feel free.
As I am not meant to be the main negotiator here, I am not all too familiar with the intricacies of Drow culture and religion. Do you does the culture as a whole consider itself very close to their deity?
Mother Stardim looks in your direction. We are very close. I speak to the Spider Queen directly. Every evening, I express her bidding to everybody in my court and society. And as such, we all do her bidding and wish it, as she is the creator of all of us. Queen Stellis kind of snickers at that.
Out of character. Out of character when she says she speaks to the Spider Queen every evening. I just have the mental image of her laying in bed and a little spider after her ear.
I mean, who knows? Maybe that's exactly what happens.
Just like the, you know.
Christian, put that down.
Hey, history, real estate.
Thank you.
Just the,
All right.
you know, like, I just imagine, like, the typical 90s teenage room, like, with the phone and just, you know.
Hey, Queenie. Just
Yeah.
the fucking glitter see-through phones. God, those things were so cool. Why? I mean, I know landlines are pointless, but like, why can't we have phones like that? I want my phone to be pink, sparkly glitter, and you see everything on the inside. That would be awesome.
My sister's definitely had one of those see-through phones.
Oh, of course, everybody did. My sister did too.
And
yes.
Yeah, bringing back to the conversation.
Yeah. Come on, guys, we're playing D&D.
We played political D&D. Let's get on with it. And also said then, so it's very much that religion rules politics of the society, yes?
Religion, faith, worship, servitude, whichever you wish to call it, is our society. It is only right that you give respect to your mother, correct? And again,
Alistair.
Queen Stellis, in her mind, call just pings to you. Oh, I love how wrong they are.
Were
Um,
there,
Go ahead.
was there anyone with collars that were female?
No, not a single one.
It's just funny.
Again, personally, Alistair just thinks back, did I ever remember my mother?
Wow, bro. You didn't even write your mom into your backstory. Kai wrote about all 3 of his moms.
Yeah.
Respect your
Straight
mother.
mom, the bi mom, the gay mom.
Moms.
All prostitutes.
All prostitutes are Kai's mother. Oh,
Scary.
wait. That's a
With the
phrasing
patricide
one.
over here.
Just
No, but like, it's more of a, considering he was most likely directly raised by his father for about most of his life, and then
Yeah.
cult.
Yeah, you know.
Yes, that does filter into the matriarchal society, I guess.
Well, it's only the right thing to do. Women are those that bring life to the world. Bring life into civilization, society. Without them, without us, there could never be a society.
Alistair just nods. He's not being sarcastic. He's just nodding.
Yeah, you are factually correct. You need them. Like,
I'm not gonna bring up that you also kinda need the other half, but hey,
you wanna bet?
nowadays, yes, you can. Yeah,
Oh, they would find a way.
I find some way.
Polymorph.
Interesting.
All right, it'd only have to be an hour or so.
Interestingly, in some species of marine animal, it is the males that carry the children and care for them.
Well, in our society, it is them that protect the children and care for them as well. They learn from us. They are given life from us. And we treat our consorts with respect, of course. The ones that understand it is their duty to protect our life as well as the children.
And what happened? What did the collars do if they get out of line?
Oh, we weren't discussing the servants. Those aren't consorts. They just work here. It's easier that way. Frees up so much of our time. Queen Stellis leans closer to the meal. You say they're not your consorts, and yet I heard something very curious. That other child of yours was clearly not born of a consort.
Someone spilt the tea.
Out of character. Insert entire class going, ooh.
Can I take a second and try to remember if, like, what the other half would be?
Roll me a nature check.
Oh. 13?
13. She had a more ghostly complexion than that of a human.
The motherfucker
Something-
ghost.
Maybe. Who knows? Hey, we don't judge. Fetishes, man. We don't judge.
The only kind of justifiable necrophilia.
We're judging heavily, you know.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, vampires, man. Come on. Just look at Twilight. Hey, all right. The books were okay if you ignore the whole sparkle aspect.
Brings a
Just
whole
know
new
that-
meaning to suck me, daddy.
I prefer the werewolves.
Oh my.
You are absolutely correct. Team Jacob. 100%. But anyway.
Oh yeah.
There goes half our viewership.
But then we gain another half. It's great.
Yeah.
Hey, Mika showed up. Perfect timing for that one. Anyways. Immediately, for the first time, Alistair, you are the only one who discerns a very quick crack in Mother Stardim's demeanor. Anger. She is beyond furious, but she maintains a composure. I can sense the lewd. Yeah, we know you can. God damn it, Mika.
Joey.
Yes.
The priest that's sitting next to me. Oh, I accidentally drew something. Don't mind that. Which hand is she holding the knife in?
Left.
So next to me. Good to know.
Yeah.
And with that small crack, I'm just like switching over my view to everyone else. Like priestess next to Terran. How Queen Stellis is eating up the situation.
Wow, just eating.
Queen Stellis, I must agree that that is the story that everyone has heard.
Mother Stardim turns her gaze now over to you, Terran. A momentary lapse in judgment during a celebratory night. Our queen understands and only wishes for me to rectify the situation. To fix it.
Well,
Go ahead.
in our culture, the one who had the lapse in judgment is the one who is taken to task.
Immediately, both of the priestess turn their attention to you now too. Hey, Alistair, the knife is no longer positioned towards you, but slightly towards Theron.
Is it like a they moved their hand, or just like?
Oh, it's just like an instinctual tilt. Like your attention moves, so did your hand. You know.
Question: now that I'm sitting near to Mother Stardim,
Nothing.
can I get nothing? Just locked?
Hers isn't even open. Queen Stellis's mind is open. She just controls what she thinks so very accurately and well you can't discern it. Unless she, of course, chooses to. Mother Stardim's is locked. She has magical protections in place.
Yeah. What are my magical eyes tell me? What she got on her?
Her crown.
I see.
Yes. Her crown. Her earrings. Her dress. Her left nail of the middle finger. Left hand, middle finger nail is magical. And her throne is exceptionally magical.
Alright, it's
In
just a fucking a fucking concept that somebody either enchanted a nail or enchanted the nail polish.
I mean, it's a good idea, right? Character concept, just...
You realize I am going to do something very similar if you give me the tools.
I know.
Artifice. Nail-emancer.
And, of course, now, since you activated your eyes, the priestesses... Let me look at them real quick to tell you. Okay. Both of them have magic in their necklace. both of them have magic in the veil that rests on the back of their head. And both of them have a magical dagger at their side.
Cool. It's good to know.
Now the Shadow Blades, because it's within 30 feet of you, right?
Yeah.
Yep, you can see that guy. And that guy. Okay. The Shadow Blade. Long sword, short sword, armor, hair tie, a dagger behind their back, and something inside of their pouch on their side. The mage has magic twined between their fingers, like actively keeping it available, like on edge. Their spell focus appears to be a bracelet as well.
Good.
And yeah, I think that's everything magical that you sense across this area. Oh, wait a second. 30 feet? Do you have available magics that aren't typical magics? Did I give you that?
What do you mean?
Dunomancy. Did I give you access to that?
No, I don't have. You may well have done it if I'd asked, but I didn't ask.
Okay. You don't know the school of magic or the branding of magic coming from inside of... Yeah, just on the cusp. So, these two pools of water. You don't know what that is. But it is very magic. But anyways, back to the situation at hand. Mother Stardim. Well, it is a fantastic thing that we have a hierarchy to listen to, instead of making judgments as mortal.
It might be a beneficial thing for you. Yes.
You see the queen begins raising her hand, and then Queen Stellis gives her a look with a smirk on her face. Alistair, your previous insight check. This is kind of what Queen Stellis has been hoping for. That you all would piss off Stardim so much that she makes the first act.
Out of character. Slightly out of character. Was I allowed to keep my hammer?
Yeah, of course. They didn't take away any of your armor, weapons, anything.
Oh, if they would have tried, they'd have been dead already.
Yeah, no, you guys are here as their guests. They're not unequipping you. Fuck no. Like...
So I literally just have my hammer resting on onto my shoulder.
I'll say your hammer's probably like behind your chair. That's tall enough to be over your chair. You could
Did
reach
they
above
specifically
you
make a
and pull
chair
it
for
out.
me?
It's a little tight. They removed the arms.
Then I just have a normal chair in comparison to the regal chairs.
Yes.
Or a fancy compared to regal.
Oh, yeah.
So I still am within reach of our little surprise.
I suppose. I'm not sure what your
My
little
hammer.
surprise is. Oh, okay, yeah.
No, just the idea of giving them something that they've never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
Surprise!
As Queen Stellis gives her that look, Mother Queen Stardim returns it with a smile and then recomposes herself. You were close to making her act, but not quite yet. I believe this dinner is over. She waves her hand and the table disappears with all of the food slamming to the floor. You all will be shown your quarters from my consort, Drax.
Kai is mid-bite, looking down at the floor, trying to decide if he should eat more or not.
Give me a sleight of hand, Kai, because I feel like out of everybody, you'd be the most capable of this.
Ah, cool. Sleight of hand. Kai. Sleight of hand. Ooh, my sleight of hand's high.
I feel like that. Was that a nat 20 or was that the 5?
It was the 5. You
Oh.
catch your plate mid-fall, and you only lose about half of it before writing it up. The two priestess stand up and go over to the queen's side, and she is escorted away with the 3 of them.
Oh, that was wasteful.
They go back to this wall, which shimmers as they walk through it. And immediately after this, Queen Stellis begins hysterically laughing. This is the most fun I've had at a dinner in ages.
I would have thought you had nicer dinners where you come from.
I looked over to Alistair. That was rude, right?
Normally, yes.
Okay.
Shadow Blades. She waves her hand, and both of the Shadow Blades seem to get angry, but then take about a 15-foot step back from all of you.
Was that one of my comments?
No, that was Stellis. Stellis just waved them and, leave us.
A 15-foot step back.
They were angry at Stellis for telling
there
them
was
to leave.
multiple steps.
Okay. I was gonna say, how tall
Yeah,
are
Looney Tunes style, yoink.
Make sure your silly walks.
They're actually just like no torso, all legs and arms.
Yeah. They moonwalked. There was only one step. Anyways,
Yeah.
as you all are still seated there, Kai, the only one with his plate still in his hands, Queen Stellis looks over at all of you. That went almost as perfectly as I could have imagined.
There's one thing that we're particularly good at. It's finding a weakness and wheedling it.
That is
I
great.
thought one of the things that we are good at is making people angry at us.
That is what.
It is a power where I come from.
Yeah. Speaking of, I don't think I got an answer to this. I thought you'd have like more fun dinners where you come from.
What, the wilds? Well,
Yeah.
some of the other courts, that's all they care about. My court, we care about learning about magic, studying the stars at night. Me, in particular, I don't get invited to many of the events held by the other courts. Mostly
I'm
because
assuming that's the two.
Hmm?
I'm assuming that's to do with the lack of backbone when it comes to your prodding.
they learned a long time ago that I'm difficult to beat at that game.
I assume such.
I feel we may have gotten off on the wrong foot, Queen Stellis.
Oh, I thought our foot was fantastic. And, like, she reaches down to the glass that, like, somehow landed fine and just takes a deep sip from it and crosses her legs. She didn't dislike you at all.
Right.
Oh, look at Abby. Hey, Abby.
That's Faith.
Faith! Why did I
Oh.
say Abby? Abby is,
Abby's the cat.
Yeah. No.
So you
I'm
have
so
faith in
sorry,
Abyss.
Faith. I am
Yep.
so
I
sorry,
do.
Faith.
She does not care.
I have an all-white dog that is faint and an all-black cat that is the Abyss.
I'm going to look over at Queen Stella's.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been meaning to ask you about this, considering we are now off in a better foot. I noticed that you didn't have a particularly fond expression when referring to my origins.
Is there a question involved in that?
Yeah, I was wondering if there was a reason for that.
Oh, of course. There's a
know that
portion
reason.
of the myriad who has aligned themselves with one of my ex-courtiers. Courtier being somebody who is of your court.
So she's queen of the court of night.
And magic. Or
Night and magic.
Queen of Noct. Noct is the court of night and magic. But
So
Stellis...
effectively she is. Yeah. So she's like, Alistair's kind of like, he's like not saying it perfectly clearly, but he's mumbling to himself, trying to keep up with the hierarchy of Fae.
Yeah. Just know she's at the tippy top.
Yeah. It's a good thing that she's more jovial than. What's the best way to put it? Mother starved him.
Oh, yeah. But yes, they align themselves with him after I disregarded him from my society. I revoked his ability to come back, more or less. And they worked with him very closely and helped him get back. And I don't like people who go against my direct wishes and trying. Aside from that, of course, I mean, I've heard all of the horror stories about what the Myriad does and yada, 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 of course. But, you know, that's just icing on the cake. And when I heard you were associated with them, I have to admit it did pass my mind to attempt to kill you. Probably when you slept.
Oh. Good thing I cleared that up.
Yes, very. I don't want to fight all of you.
No, man, I would feel rather betrayed if you were to kill me.
That's fair.
Well, it has been a stressful dinner. And I also kind of just like looks over the fallen plates and is like, where's the mushroom I could pick out?
Yoink.
Yeah, just like taking a kebab for to go. Just... All right.
I just finished his food, of course, and then just throws the plate over his shoulder.
And I am curious. She looks over at you, Call. Did you get anything from the three of them?
The queen is locked tight like a fortress.
Ooh.
I also counted no less than 5 magical artifacts on her person, including her throne.
She looks over at the throne. Well, a queen's throne always has to be safeguarded. I wonder.
Perhaps if the queen had been locked down a little tighter, we wouldn't be in this situation.
Even Alistair has to like stop himself from actually laughing. He just kind of winces.
Roll me a perception check, all of you. Yeah, Kai?
Kai just breaks out laughing. Perception check.
What is with my rolls today?
Right?
Oh, I rolled twice.
That was me last week, man. I didn't roll over a 10 the whole time.
So 16.
Sorry, mine's still loading.
It's fine.
I must have double click perception and accept.
Fine.
Kai. Still loading. Here we go. Perception. Oh, more loading. Character sheet and perception, performance, perception.
Oh, big stretch.
And I'll do advantage because they're going to have to use it.
Yeah, might as well. 14. Alistair. One of the mages coming from the right-hand side, your left, one of these three snickered when she made that comment.
I'm going to immediately...
You don't know which one, but one.
I'm going to immediately turn to one of them. Are they males or are they female?
All three of them are female. All
I'm
of the
going to
mages
turn.
are female. All of them.
Alright, I was just wondering. Like,
Yeah.
because sometimes you have to ask because you don't always have like an accurate token.
Yeah, that's fair.
And also Elven.
Yeah, that's fair. Everyone's pretty. It's elf.
And I'm just going to turn to the three of them like as a group. And I'll just like, I won't smile at anyone, but the eyes tell everything. And he's just going to turn back.
Stellis is smiling a mile wide. She seems to have heard it as well. She is very perceptive. You know, I'm gonna probably quite enjoy this. She looks at the Shadow Blades. None of you are gonna tell Queenie if I try to sit in her seat, right? And both of them make eye contact with each other from far away and then back to her. That's what I thought. She goes over to the chair. Rubs the arms. Not bad material.
It's enchanted with repel, but.
And then she sits down in it. Immediately, you all see a surge of red lights shoot across Queen Stellis's body, and these tiny little cuts appear all across her as blood shoots out from each of them. And then she just takes a step forward. Let me roll that real quick.
Was that an ouch, I got a paper cut, or a...
That looked
actual
like
pain?
an ouch inflict wounds.
She gets chunked. Then stands up. Well, that is not the worst protection I've seen. Whew. However, I could read all of your thoughts the moment I sat down.
Really, what was I thinking?
You were really upset that more food was on the floor.
Okay, she without darts.
I'm surprised you
Curiously,
didn't get others.
could you read mine?
Do you have magical warding and protection?
I do.
Then no, she could not. I'm not taking away that cool item. What were you saying, Taryn?
I was gonna say I was surprised you didn't encounter others. Meaning Kai's thoughts.
It was only a brief moment. Oh, wow, that was exceptional. Bravo, whoever made this.
Yeah, need some help with those.
She looks over at you. Are you offering to assist a woman in Drow society with help? Yes, please.
I'm already on everyone's shit list. I know that much.
Not hers. She likes you.
No, I didn't include her in that. Everyone.
Yeah. Alistair, for once, a NPC really authentically likes you.
Oh god, I feel so special.
Yeah.
And I'm going to look at the wounds. It's like, yeah, that's nasty.
Yeah.
Kai likes you, but partly because everyone else he dislikes or doesn't know.
That's fair.
Like by association.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna upcast, since we haven't had a proper full rest. I'm gonna upcast my Cure Wounds into a 4th level.
Ooh, not bad. You go over to her and place your hand on her arm that she presents outwards towards you. And you all watch as... Which god are you calling upon for healing? Out of curiosity.
I'm gonna see if I can't reach the Wild Mother in here.
Ooh, yes. Yeah, like... Really piss him off. Anyways. You all feel a fresh spring-like breeze roll across the area that envelops you with the smell of fresh dewdrops in the morning, blooming daisies. It's lovely. And the healing takes place into Queen Stellis. How much was that? 26?
Yep. It's probably not going to be a lot in comparison to the chunk that she took.
It's a good bit. About half of her chunk that she took. And after she receives that, she smiles, and you all notice the Shadow Blade's jaws drop as he does that.
I'm going to insight one of them.
Do it. And then the mages look furious. Don't you guys love marching around where they can't do shit?
Oh yeah.
A 22.
You guys literally get to play the find out game. Like
Yeah. Fuck around.
So, how also jaw dropping to them on a 22.
We'll go with the one that is directly in your line of sight if you were looking forward, so the one on the left-hand side, who rolled a natural 1 on their deception check. He seems confused by the fact that you just cast magic and by the fact that she just let you and the fact that you just touched her. Like he clearly never anticipated coming across this situation in his life.
Oh, poor baby.
By the way, Chris.
Yes.
I read that Polish immigrant.
So good.
I immediately looked at the I immediately heard the Shadow Blade's reaction. I was like, "Oh, that, yeah."
Just imagine if
Oh god.
Imagine if Sneak was down here in the PDA, they would lose their fucking shit.
Oh, and Tara would be like, "Oh, dude, you need a glass of wine? I can grab one for you." And like,
here, let me go prep your plate.
Yeah, just that whole like, she would. Not that she's like that anyway.
Oh, not at all.
But she would do it just.
Oh yeah.
To watch them lose their minds.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alistair looks back at the mages, and he's just gonna touch the side of his nose to the group as like a on the nose. It's like a tap tap tap.
Yeah.
I don't remember if it's a common.
Yeah, I know the gesture you mean.
Yeah, it's used to mean like remember or know what you did.
Mm-hmm. Well, I thank you oh so much, Mr. Alistair. Now,
Please,
she looks
I
over
didn't
at
do
one of the
enough.
shadow blades. Escort us to our room, and she hooks her arm in yours. And Alistair, you see the same guy. His eyes, like, they could not be bigger as she does that. And, like, he's like, this is not okay.
You know, in a certain sense, Alistair is mirroring his expression because he did not imagine that he would be escorting a queen of a fake court at the moment.
Hey, if it pisses somebody else off, yes, you will.
Oh. Sweet baby Alistair's gonna become a man.
She doesn't like him that much yet. But anyways, you all are escorted out of this chamber over towards a winding staircase in the tower that drops off at each floor heading up. And you all are brought up to the 7th floor. Now, mind you, none of you have ever before in your lives been in a building with more than 3 floors. That includes, well, not including the basement, so 4 floors. They have at least 7 in here. But you're brought up to this floor where the Shadow Blade goes through an intricate system of magics in order to unlock the door. And the Queen looks over at him. Leave it unlocked. And you all step out into an entire floor of this building, equal in size to the map you all see in front of you. That is your chambers. There's 12 different rooms, 9 of which are bedrooms, 2 of which are bathrooms with full plumbing, and 1 of which is a dining room with a little bit of niceties and stuff like that. There's a large middle section of this chamber that is just a casual hangout little area, and as soon as you all get in here, she closes the door and just smiles at you all. Oh, you're going to make this so much fun.
Alistair's still kind of a bit, jaw dropped at the moment, just like, what just happened?
You understand, I didn't expect to have such a penetrating effect on the Queen's defenses, but apparently I'm not the only one.
Oh, it's fun to mess with them as she kind of like floats over towards one of the chairs, collapses into it, and tosses her feet up on the table. She still has like a lot of these cut marks across her skin, but she doesn't seem to mind so much. And I think this is probably a perfect place for us to go ahead and end the session, everybody. Great little area before we figure out what the hell you guys are going to do tonight and how you're going to piss her off next time. Anyways, players, thank you all very much for playing. Viewers, thank you for watching. Hope you all had a fantastic time. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you all next time. Goodbye.